There's no other words to describe the movie Finding Nemo but a classic. Released in 2003, it made its way up to the charts among the best animated films in history due to its interesting storyline and the overall impact it made to the world. It also bore such iconic lines that are still applied nearing 2 decades after its release. You might have your own quotes from the film that you frequently allude to, but my personal favorite is, "Just keep swimming." But anyway, it's purely undeniable how Finding Nemo is one of the most popular films of all time. As we follow the story of Marlin in his adventurous journey in finding his son, we are also dealt with subtle messages that one can gain if they keep a keen eye. But before we pierce through the gist, I would just like to give you a little disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, so better take all my advice with a pinch of salt, and take only what can be applied to you. I do my very best in telling you the latest information in terms of financial management. But if you are experiencing serious problems, that is the time to seek out services by professionals and experts to help you out with what you're facing. Welcome to the Quantum Wealth, where the road to success begins. Before starting with the video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and comment below your thoughts for today's video. I bet you only watch Finding Nemo whenever you need something to uplift your spirit or to cheer you up. Well, of course, because the movie is essentially so light with a clear plot and a concrete happy ending, there's just really no stress in that movie. But for me, there was just a time that I was so addicted to the film that I basically watched it for how many times in just a single week. And to tell you honestly, I didn't even get bored, not even by a single second. This led me to create this video where I am going to tell you how each of the characters in Finding Nemo relate to the world of finance. I know that you must be thinking, a children's movie and financial lessons are just ends of different spectrum. But in this video, I am going to show you the underlying messages of some of the characters and how they can help you to further understand the basics in money management. At number 3, Dory. We were introduced to Dory as a female fish with so much spirit, to the point that she becomes careless rather than carefree. Along with this bright identity, she also suffers from short-term memory loss, which is basically the main point of her character. Indeed, she forgets a lot of stuff in a quick blink of an eye, and we can all admit that that's really annoying. If you yourself find it hard to remember details, I'm sure you would get frustrated. So imagine how it feels for Dory to officially have this syndrome and how it affects her life underwater. But then, do you remember that time when they were chased by Bruce the shark and Marlin had the possession of those scuba goggles to determine the address of Nemo? Marlin can't read, so he severely struggled in that scene, and amidst all that, they were in the middle of being chased by a massive shark named Bruce. Oh, that was just really intense. But then, the star of this scene came in as Dory offered to read the goggles as she said she could. Now I vividly remember how it went for me the first time I watched the film. Initially, I was so ecstatic that Dory could read because this would then be the key to finding Nemo, but then later on, realization hits me that Dory has short-term memory loss. I thought to myself, oh no, this would not get them anywhere. But then, by some miracle, Dory managed to come in clutch and overcame all of her suffering as she remembered the specific address of the location of Nemo. And bam, this led to a new hope where we think Nemo can eventually be found. Despite having a memory condition, Dory was able to fight it off as she knows she needs to do it. And that is what you should possess if you wish to become financially successful. Indeed, there are tons of weaknesses and barriers that we have in our own lives, but if we have the drive and passion to achieve greater things, then we can always leave them all behind and focus on just doing better. Let's say when starting a business, you may have a hard time forging connections to gain stakeholders, partners, and investors as you may not be that much of a people person. But if you are truly determined to achieve all of your aspirations, then nothing can stop you to do anything you want. This will then fuel you to fulfill all of your duties and overcome all of your inner saboteur. At number 2, Nemo. Nemo is the one who started this movie. There can be no such thing as Finding Nemo without Nemo himself. I mean, the title contains his name, so that's already obvious. Nemo was fearless. There's no doubt about that. And as a person with a good financial mindset, you should also manifest that into your daily practice. You can never be too afraid or too shy to stay within your comfort zone and only limit yourself to what is safe and comfortable for you. Much like Nemo, you should be ready to explore to see other opportunities for your money and personal economy. But am I saying that you should exactly adapt to Nemo's character? Well, not entirely, because in case you forgot, he got kidnapped. Nemo was kidnapped for the same reason why we admire him. Because of his desire and thrill to explore the world, the mistake Nemo made was he got too cocky and no longer thought of his actions. He was clearly out of line the moment he got closer and closer to the human boat. In light of this is what you should do. Whenever you approach a new financial opportunity, then be ready to pursue it with all your might. But take note, be ready for now. The next thing you're going to do is to do all the research you can get and make sure to plan ahead in a concrete and organized manner. You have to develop your own plan with all the risks calculated and all the consequences considered. Through this, you are going to make an informed decision which gives you the full power to know your bounds and know when to stop. Lastly, at number 1, Marlin. When we think of the movie based on its title, we may think that the entire film is just about Nemo and how we follow his story. But actually, we are going through the movie as we watch the journey of Marlin in his expedition to look for his son, thus making him the main character of the movie. With his sheer desire to be with his son again, he went on to cross greater heights and battle through the hardest battles just to achieve this goal. He literally stopped at nothing to be with Nemo again. This trait is purely out of a father's love for his child, but ultimately, you must bear the specific trait of never giving up if you truly want other success for financial situation. Whenever you have goals and aspirations, learn to work smartly and of course, work harder and harder for you to attain what you really want. Money does not come to you in its own legs, but instead, you are the one that's going to have to chase it. The future is all in your hands. That wraps up today's video. We hope you find this video helpful, and if you like today's video, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you at the next one.